Welcome to another Todd E. Walnuts video update from the green swamp of his bedroom, starring the lovely Miss Hannah and the lovely Miss Heidi. Today is Saturday, March 20th, and I'm in chill mode. I got a candle burning. I got a little pile of things here to share with you guys. A couple figures. I got a vinyl record in the back. I got it, well, let's just jump into the stuff that I've recently watched that I just picked up. This one here is a film from 2017, and I had a lot of fun with this movie. It's kind of a grindhouse style film starring the great Vince Vaughn, who is a very versatile actor. He can play in comedic roles. He was kind of the straight guy in Old School with Will Ferrell, which was a great movie. He's been in a lot of comedies. He's been the villain in a few films. Here he's kind of an anti-hero, and I really loved this movie. This is the 4K Ultra HD edition of the film, Brawl in Cell Block 99. I don't know what took me so long to watch this. I highly recommend this movie. Vince Vaughn is badass in this movie. He is beast mode. The story itself is pretty ridiculous. It's almost kind of like a Dante's Inferno type story where the lead character spirals down and down and down. And the ending will pretty much make you angry. But it's a great movie. I highly recommend Brawl in Cell Block 99. Picked this up on Amazon. I think it was about $8, brand new for a 4K movie. It comes with the Blu-ray, the regular Blu-ray and the 4K. So you don't have to have a 4K player to watch it. You can watch the regular Blu-ray. You can get this, I think it was $7 or $8, brand new. So check it out. Definitely watch that. And if you have seen it, comment down below and let me know what you thought of it without any spoilers, please, because other commenters sometimes like to go through and read the other comments. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody else, but definitely check this out if you haven't watched it before. Highly recommended. I give this, I'll probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. And this is probably one of the more fun movies I've watched recently in the past month or so. The next one here is called Bloody Murder. And this is a very low budget Friday the 13th ripoff. And this movie got panned pretty bad. I mean, I've seen a lot of reviews about this movie. A lot of people give it a 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 5, however their chart is. I've seen a lot of 1s. And their biggest complaint was it was a Friday the 13th ripoff. Well, if you look at the cover, it's pretty clear to me already that it's going to be a Friday the 13th ripoff. And if you go into the movie knowing that and realizing it is, you can have a lot of fun with this movie. It's not a great movie, but it was still a very fun movie. And it pays a lot of homage to Friday the 13th. And it's about a group of counselors who go to a camp. So cliche, right? But it's fun. There's a big red herring in this movie. I thought I had it figured out, and it took a complete turn, and it tricked me at the end of the movie. I'll admit it. Has a good ending. It's a twist ending. But one of the counselors' name is Jason in this movie, and he goes missing. This is not a spoiler, by the way. Jason goes missing, and for a minute they think Jason is the killer, and even one of the kids in one of the counselors says, "Oh, great, there's a Jason running around, and he's a psychotic," or something like that. So they kind of give a little nod to the Friday the 13th franchise. So if you go into the movie knowing that, you'll still have fun with it. If you think you're going to see something completely new, you're not going to probably enjoy this. But that is Bloody Murder Part 1. And Bloody Murder Part 2 was a little bit better. It was the same premise, the same killer. I think his name is Trevor Morehouse, is the killer in this movie. Or that's the legend anyway. I'm not going to give away who the actual killers are. But this movie here on the left had a very low budget. A lot of the kills were off screen. The acting wasn't that good, but then again, in some of these low budget horror films, there's kind of a charm to that. The poor acting and the low budget kind of gives a little charm to the movie. In part two, it had a little bit bigger budget, had much better kills. It was much more bloody, much more violent. There was some very gruesome, gory kills in part two. I would probably give part one a 5 out of 10, and I'll give part two a 5.5 out of 10. I thought the ending was better in part one. The acting was better in part two. The lovely Tiffany Shepis is in part two, and she's quite nude and very nice looking, by the way. So that's something. I mean, that's at least worth a 0.5 more than part one. But I would say I recommend these. You can probably get these pretty cheap. I do have them in a 4-pack. There was a DVD that had 4 movies in it, and I think it had Bloody Murder 1 and 2, and had Otis, and I can't remember what the 4th one was, which I have also. But I wanted to get these on standalone editions because I think they look really cool. So that is Bloody Murder 1 and 2. They're far from great movies, but they're very fun movies, and I would say check it out. Okay, so I guess I should have mentioned also that these 2 movies take place in the fictitious town of Camp Placid Pines. And this movie here, called The Graveyard, this movie came out in 2000. This movie came out in 2003. And this movie came out in 2005, I believe. And this is it's kind of a part 3. It's like a spin-off, if you will, of the first 2, where it does take place in Camp Crystal, or what was it? Camp, I just had it on the tip of my tongue and now I can't think. Camp Placid Pines. This movie takes place in Camp Placid Pines. I haven't watched this one yet. I just got this in recently. I ordered it once I found out it was part 3 of this series. And I actually haven't even opened this yet, but I'm going to probably watch this tonight. But, and since I haven't watched it, I can't really say much about it. I will read the little synopsis here on the back. It says, some people are willing to die for their friends. How many would die at their hands? Unleash the horror in this terrifying tale of 7 friends reuniting at a graveyard to honor the memory of their fallen friend. But in this cemetery, death wears a similar face, and accidents from the past can only be washed away in blood. So I'm not sure what to expect from this film, but I'm going in with very low expectations so I can still have fun with it. I don't want to take these movies too seriously because otherwise I'll be disappointed, but that is The Graveyard, Bloody Murder, and Bloody Murder 2. The next one here is a movie that I have on DVD. I have the original DVD, which was very rare and hard to find for a while. And then about a year or 2 ago, Kino Lorber released it on Blu-ray in a really nice edition. And I picked up the Steelbook here, also by Kino. And of course, this is Rawhead Rex. And I believe this was a film from Ireland or Scotland. I keep forgetting which one it is. This is a film by George Pavlov, and it was screenwritten by Clive Barker. And it's a very fun monster in a rubber suit type movie. I'm sure most of you know by now about this movie, but I picked this up. I think it's still shrink wrapped. I didn't open it yet, but I think it was like $25, which to me for a Steelbook is really good, a really good price. And I wanted to pick it up now before it goes out of print. So that is Rawhead Rex, and that cover art is beautiful. It looks like there's scratches on it, but that's just the cellophane that's on there. I may just leave that sealed since I already have the Blu-ray. Let's move on to the next one. The next one here is a little rare gem from a company called Cauldron Films, and I have to admit, I don't know much about the company. Back last October in 2020, I got an email from Diabolic DVD that they were offering a couple of limited edition titles from Cauldron Films. This was limited to 1,800 pieces. And the next one, well, we'll get to that here in a second, but this is called Beyond Terror. It was never before released in the US. This is a Spanish horror film. Comes in this beautiful slip box, only has one opening. It's glossy and embossed, really nice. Really love it. That's the Spanish title. I have this in my player right now. I started watching it earlier today. I got about maybe 30 minutes into the movie and I had to leave. I had an appointment today, so I'll finish this movie tonight. But so far what I watched, I enjoyed it. I do want to point out though that this is a Spanish film and it's only in Spanish language. And you can watch it with English subtitles, and that's the only way you can watch it. So I just want to point that out now because it may turn some people off. But actually, I think these are sold out now anyway. So, but you still may be able to find this. I flipped the cover. That's the same image that's on the slip box. It also comes with some cards we'll go through, and it's a little booklet. We'll do that last. This is the 4K restoration of the movie, and like I said before, it's never been released in the US before. It is all region. The movie is from 1980. It is unrated, 83 minutes. There's some commentary. And not a whole lot in the way of special features, but just the fact that it's never been released before, and all of a sudden, bang, you get a 4K release of it. It's pretty special. I think that's pretty cool. And like I said, I don't know much about the company Cauldron Films, but I think I'm going to be checking these guys out again. I have a feeling they're going to make some noise. But it's one of the art cards. There's another one. Looks very cool. I love these old Spanish Gothic type horror films. I like their rendition of the Walking Dead, almost kind of like the Templar Knights. Really, really cool stuff. And those posters are beautiful. The old architecture. It really feels like it's a 70s movie, even though it was released in 1980. It has like a very early 70s vibe to me from what I've seen in the first 25-30 minutes of it, which is a good thing. I love the older horror like that. I like that feel, that old grimy, gritty feel to it. So here is the booklet, and it's pretty cool. They have it in Spanish and in English. I'm going to have to do a little research on Cauldron Films. I'm not even really sure where they are located, if it's a UK company or a Spanish company or a US company. I don't even really know. If anybody knows and you want to chime in below, please feel free to do so. Well, let's see here on the back. It says it was distributed by International Films Distribution, San Martin, Madrid. So this very well may be a Spanish company. And there's the website if you guys want to check that out. I'll be checking that out after this video. www.cauldronfilms.com. I like that little Cauldron logo. Pretty cool. So welcome to the scene, guys. I know they had a couple releases before this. I think they had 2 or 3 releases before these 2 that I'm going to show you today. But that is Beyond Terror. Let me know if you guys were able to pick this up and if you've seen it or if you plan to track it down. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, so moving to the next one, The Crimes of the Black Cat, Sergio Pastore film. This one is limited to 1,750 and it's sold out. This one was limited to 1,800, so there's 50 more copies of this one available. These, you could probably still get these on eBay, I'm thinking, but I'm not sure how much they have gone up in value. Again, it has a beautiful slip box, nice and shiny. It's embossed. You're not going to probably be able to pick that up on my camera phone, but it is embossed on the gloves there, and just slightly embossed at the bottom. Have not had a chance to watch this one yet, so I don't know much of it. But it comes with the Blu-ray here on the right. Also comes with the CD soundtrack, which I always love. Love it when companies do that. And there is the reversible cover. The Crimes of the Black Cat. I think I like the inside cover a little bit better. So I will flip that. I'll do that off camera. This is a film from 1972. It is all region again, which is great. 98 minutes, unrated. So that's really cool. And again, if you guys are interested at all checking these out, go to cauldron-films.com. Another 4K restoration of the film. This one has a little bit more in the way of special features. Has interviews. You can see there, it has Anthony Stefan, who is a genre actor. He did a lot of Italian films. He did some spaghetti westerns and some Italian horror films. So let's take a look at the, well, first let me put the disc back in here. Now I'll take a look at these art cards. So I have not seen these yet. I just actually pulled the wrap off before I started to record this segment here. So we are looking at these together for the first time. I love that the color schemes like that. It has that, you know, that giallo and 70s vibe to it. The 60s and 70s giallos were the best, I think. Very nice. Los Crímenes del Gato Negro. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I took Spanish in high school for 3 years, but that was a lifetime ago, 20 years ago. I do remember some, but a lot of it I don't remember. And here is the chapter menu. Or actually, let's see, this is the motion picture soundtrack. These are the tracks for the CD. So let's take a closer look at those if you want to see all the track listings. Beautiful, really nice release. So you guys let me know if you had a chance to see this one or if you had a chance to pick it up, and we will continue to move on. The next one here is the Steelbook from Scream Factory, My Bloody Valentine. And I had to grab this Steelbook. I know this has been out for a little bit now, but I had to pick it up before it goes out of print, and this is a beautiful cover. The thing about these Steelbooks is once they go out of print, they're very expensive. These limited Steelbooks were usually limited to 10,000, but I'm not exactly sure what they are anymore. If it's the same for every Steelbook that Scream Factory puts out, or if it's a different number, I don't know. But the cool thing about this one is you do get the uncut version on disc 2, and it's the 35th anniversary cast reunion. There's a special feature on there. And they're both 4K scans. So on disc 1 you get the theatrical version. I think it has like 2 or 3 of the segments cut out of the film for the theatrical version, and then you get the full uncut version here on disc 2, which is really cool. The only thing is this is region A and it's locked. Film from 1981, a good slasher film. The theatrical version is 90 minutes and the uncut version is 3 minutes longer, 93 minutes. So if you want to pause that and check out some of those special features, you feel free to do so. I'm not going to read them all off. But if you haven't seen this movie, I'm pretty sure most of you have by now. But if you haven't, definitely check it out. This is a very, very fun watch. A good slasher film. The next one is another film that I really enjoy. Good backwoods slasher film called The Forest. The Blu-ray here on the left is the original release, which came out a couple years ago from Code Red. And this was spine number 59 in the Code Red catalog. They have since re-released it. I believe earlier this year this was released in January or February of 2021. It was re-released with a slipcover and different cover art. And this one does not have a spine number. And I noticed that they have been re-releasing some of their classics. I think they re-released Savage Streets and a couple other ones. I'm not sure if anything else has changed other than the cover, because this one was the brand new 2016 HD scan, and this one also has the 2016 HD scan. You get commentary with Don Jones and Gary Kent. You get commentary with the same 2 guys on that one. This one has commentary with Don Jones and Stuart Abjornson, as well as this one. You get a featurette and original trailer, same thing. So it's pretty much exactly the same, just a re-release. Both of them are all region. And this is definitely another one I would grab. If you haven't watched this one yet, if you don't own it, if you've never seen it, definitely give it a shot. I think you will enjoy it. So this is the new 2021 release. Let me see when this one was released, if it says. Well, the film is from 1980, but I believe this was released at least 3-4 years ago, maybe longer. Time kind of slips away from me as I get older, but this one has definitely been out for several years now, and this is the new release here. So if you guys have any comments about that, you can leave those below. The next item here that I'm going to show you guys is a new release from Waxwork Records, available for the first time on vinyl. This is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I know this is a movie that gets a lot of hate, and it's definitely the weaker of the 2 Rob Zombie Halloweens, but I still enjoy this one and I like the soundtrack, and as a collector I definitely wanted to get this one. I have not opened this yet. This is going to be the first time we view it, or the first time I view it with you guys together. Maybe some of you have also purchased this and you've seen it before, but take a look here at this beautiful artwork on the front. It's a gatefold, so you have some pretty interesting artwork there on the inside, some really cool color schemes. I love it when it goes from the darks to the brights like that, when you got the darks and it gets lighter purple and all the way up to like that orangish color, and the pinks and blues, it just pops. It looks beautiful. There are the track listings. And this actually has songs from the bands. So there's the Moody Blues. You got Rod Stewart, Motorhead, Void, Foghat, Captain Clegg, and the Night Creatures. There's a name for you. So I'm going to pause it for a moment and we will take a look at the discs, the records. Okay, so this one comes with some pretty cool stuff in it. First you get a art print. I'm not sure what dimension that is. maybe 12 by 12. And then on the back it just has the track listing again here. Let me see if I can get that without a glare. And then it comes with like a kind of a big booklet here with really thick glossy pages. There's the lovely Sherry Moon. She never ages. She's just as beautiful now as she was, you know, back with House of 1000 Corpses, or, you know, that's almost 20 years ago. She looks the same. She's beautiful. There's Rob holding, I don't know if that's his pup. Gotta love Rob Zombie. Malcolm McDowell. Really nice booklet to throw in for a record. Definitely a nice collectible. A lot of gore, a lot of carnage in Rob Zombie's movies. A lot of really good special effects. Check out that bust of Malcolm McDowell. Really cool. Check out all those Michael Myers masks. I'd love to have just one of those. I bet you Sean Clark probably has one of those, if not more. She's so beautiful. Check that out. That's awesome. There's Rob. He looks good too for his age. There's Weird Al. And Rob's doing all right for himself. And I'm glad to see it. There's Brad Dourif. I think, no, I don't want to say because I'm not 100% sure. There's an iconic scene for you right there. The shape with that iconic butcher knife, which I'll show you guys really quick. I have a autographed butcher knife. I think I showed you guys that before. It's to scale. It's not an original knife, but it's to scale. Same size as that knife. It was signed by Nick Castle, who was the original shape back in 1978. I probably should have told you what that said too. You're probably wondering. I don't know, but it says, "You can't kill the boogeyman, Michael Myers." And then he signed it there on the left. Sorry about all that moving. I don't know if I gave you guys motion sickness. I apologize. I would love to hang out with Rob for one day just to pick his brain, have a couple beers with him, and just hear some of the stories he has to say. I bet you that guy has enough stories he'd probably write books and make documentaries about that guy. And he still has a lot more to come. That's the good thing about it. So here is the record. This is the sleeve, and it almost looks like something from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. But the record sits on the inside, and it's kind of a blood swirl. Let me pull that out. I don't want to pull it out all the way, but you can see. I mean, you don't really need to see more than that. It's kind of a red and orange swirl. So let me put this stuff back together, and then I show you a couple figures, and we'll end the video. I almost forgot that Waxwork Records also threw in this record mat, which is really nice. I have like 3 or 4 record mats now, but you can never really have too many record mats. You can swap them out. I have a Jason one. I have a Christopher Lee Dracula one. I think I have just a plain black one, and now I have this Michael Myers one, so that's cool. And then they also threw in this original master sleeve. I'm not exactly sure why or what that's about. Maybe some people prefer to keep their records in these instead of that sleeve with the graphics on it. I'm not sure. If anybody knows, you can comment down below. But that was my Halloween 2 soundtrack from Waxwork Records. Picked up a couple of horror figures. And this first one is from Mego, and this is the Scarecrow from the movie, the anthology, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I have not seen this movie yet. I did order the Steelbook, the 4K Steelbook, and that will be coming in the mail probably within the next week. And you will see that in the next update video. But I thought this little Scarecrow dude looked pretty cool, and it looks pretty good to go with that movie. These Mego figures are really pretty impressive. I mean, they're putting things out that you wouldn't really expect to see, you know, like the Bruce Lee. This next one here is one that I definitely would love to see NECA put out, but since they haven't, I'm going to get the Mego one, and this is the Jeepers Creepers. Creep, I guess. And it's beautiful. And these are way cheaper than a NECA figure. They're still 8 inches, I believe. Yeah, it is. It's an 8-inch figure. It says right there at the top. And, you know, they have cloth clothing. And the sculpt is pretty good. You know, I mean, it's not the highest quality you'll ever see, but it's definitely very recognizable as the Jeepers Creepers Creep. And so these are really cool figures, and you can get these for anywhere like 15, 18 bucks, whereas a NECA figure is going to run you 25, 30, 35 bucks, somewhere in that ballpark. So for a fraction of the price, you get a really good piece. And actually, I think that likeness is very, very good. For the money, it's definitely worth it, in my opinion. So these are the 2 Mego figures, the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark and the Jeepers Creepers. I think it's called the Creep, right? Is that what his name is? The Jeepers Creepers Creep? Well, that's what we're going to call him in this video anyway. So, and the last item, and one I was very happy to see get released, is Victor Crowley from Hatchet. And this is put out by NECA. And let me see if I can get in. I love these blister packs, but they're really hard to show, especially with a flash on a camera phone. But there you get. That is awesome. You get Victor there in all his glory. He has his overalls on, and that's cloth. You can see his bloody, dirty arms and neck. He got his filthy boots on. And this cracked me up too. He comes with a belt sander as one of his weapon accessories. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. There's the belt portion of the tool with blood smeared all over it. How cool is that? And then you also get a hatchet, a bloody hatchet. Beautiful. Look at that. This is one of my favorite figures in my collection. if you haven't picked this up, please do get it before it goes out of print. This is going to be a big seller. This is going to be worth money. So do yourself a favor, pick it up. Let me see if I can give the artist his due, because I want to definitely... So the painting on the figure was done by John Wardell and Jeffrey Trapp. I want to see who did the artwork on the reversible. Sorry about that. Packaging, photography, prototypes, design and direction, sculpting, fabricating, and tailoring. That just talks about the figure. I wanted to see who did the artwork back there, because that's beautiful too. That is beautiful. So let's do our recap, and we will call this a video. So for the recap, we have Bloody Murder and Bloody Murder 2. In part 3, The Graveyard. One of my favorite movies of the past couple months, probably. Brawl in Cell Block 99. I wish I would have seen this when it came out. It's already a few years old, but I really had a lot of fun with that movie. This definitely has rewatchability value to it. I can watch this movie probably every year now. A couple times a year, maybe. Vince Vaughn was a badass. He was definitely beast mode. All right, enough about that. You guys heard me go on about that too much. The new release of The Forest. Here's the old release of The Forest. Rawhead Rex Steelbook. My Bloody Valentine Steelbook. And from a company called Cauldron, you got Beyond Terror and The Crimes of the Black Cat. I know some of you guys out there know, the throbbing brain out there knows, what are the other titles that Cauldron has released? And were they released with slip boxes? If you can comment and let me know on that. And then for the figures, we have Jeepers Creepers. Let me get a better angle here. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I'm not sure what this guy's name is. I haven't seen the movie yet. If you guys know that, you can comment and let me know. And Victor Crowley. And then we had the Waxwork Records soundtrack for Halloween 2. And there's Miss Heidi. And there's Miss Hannah Banana. All right, guys, thank you for watching. As always, I always do appreciate you spending a little time with me. I know there's a lot of channels out there. So for you to even pop in for a couple minutes, I really appreciate that. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.